Hey everyone, it's October 11th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Craig Chandler Price, known for being the youngest serial killer in U.S. history, murdering at least 4 victims beginning when he was just 13 years old. And that is him right over there. Born in 1974, Price grew up with his siblings in Warwick, Rhode Island, a city that was overwhelmingly made up of well-to-do white residents. Racial tensions in America in the 1970s were in many ways higher than they are now, with the Civil Rights Act being passed just a decade before his birth, and the nearest big city to him was America's worst city, Boston. His parents worked hard to provide a stable home for the family, and he was a valuable member of every athletic team he joined. But when he was 9, he reportedly began having violent thoughts of death and murder, and he received no psychological counseling to help. Price soon developed a violent temper and had a record of low-level burglaries and drug use. At the age of 13, he got high and went out wandering in his neighborhood, breaking into a neighbor's house around midnight. She was in the process of preparing to move and was sleeping on her living room floor. Price stood above her, watching her sleep for a while before heading into the kitchen where he grabbed a 10-inch chef's knife, which he used to stab the woman 58 times. He calmly left through the back door, hopped a fence, and headed home. She was discovered the next morning when her brother showed up and found her lying in a pool of blood. The police were stumped as to who did it, and 2 years went by with no progress made in the case. On September 1st, 1989, Price smoked some marijuana laced with LSD and went out wandering in his neighborhood. He broke into the home of a single mother of 2 children, grabbing a knife in her kitchen. The matriarch heard his entry and went downstairs to see what was going on and screamed, so Price strangled her until she passed out, then stabbed her 57 times. Her daughters had woken up due to the disturbance, and he ended up stabbing them 62 times and 37 times. He snuck out again and headed home, but this time he left behind some clues. He cut himself during his stabbings and had stepped in the blood of his victims. The bodies were discovered by relatives 3 days later, and the police noted it was very similar to the earlier murder which had happened just down the street. Detectives initially spoke with Price just inquiring about whether he had seen anything in his neighborhood that night. He wasn't a suspect, but they noticed he had a bandaged hand. He claimed to have punched out a car window, so on a whim, they looked for reports of broken car windows and found none that matched his story. But he was still just a child, and they were hesitant to accuse one of such a brutal crime. A friend of Price, however, tipped off detectives that he had been bragging about killing someone and getting away with it, which was enough for a search warrant. They found a sock that matched the print left at the crime scene, and blood-soaked rags and a knife. Price was arrested, and when questioned about why he was angry all the time, he said that he was tired of the racism he faced in town, and that when a man called him the N-word 2 years prior, he became enraged. He said he saw the man at his first victim's house, and that's why he decided to break in and commit the heinous murder. A full confession to the new crimes ensued, and he was quickly convicted of 4 murders in juvenile court. At the time, it was illegal to keep someone that young behind bars past their 21st birthday, so the legal system went to work with court maneuvers to try and keep him locked up. When Price refused psychological treatment, he was found in contempt and ended up getting 15 years additional time, and that led to violent behavior while incarcerated, leading to even more charges and time on his sentence. He most recently stabbed a fellow prisoner in 2017, getting 25 more years tacked on, so it seems unlikely he'll ever get out at this point. While the courts would have been forced to release him in 1995, bad behavior, or at least claims of his bad behavior, seem to have doomed him to life in prison, which might be the appropriate punishment after brutally stabbing 4 victims, even if he was 15 years old. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Craig Chandler Price, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.